Hello there, Qckslvrslash, and today I've got a game for you driving the Tier 5 Premium US battleship, the Texas. For all intents and purposes, this ship is the same as the New York. There are some mild differences, but nothing I'm going to pick apart in this game, and nothing that's really going to ultimately affect this game. And as you can see, Tier 7 game, and there's a fair number of Tier 7s, including a number of bigger battleships. But that never really seems to bother me as much driving, the Tier 5, 6, even 7 Americans, because the armor on these things always seems to just perform fairly well for me. You can also see, playing alongside Flying Goomba, who's driving his Gremyashki, and I gotta say, I always love being in a battleship and having that destroyer escort, because he can push out, get early spotting on any potential torpedoes coming my way, and we're always coordinating that, and it's just a big part of teamwork. He's gotten a little overcommitted going around the edge of that island, which unfortunately blocks his retreat. Luckily, he's got the guns to deal with that fight, and he does have some support in the form of a Furitaka. So my general plan when playing on Trident is to head over to Charlie to begin the match, and the reason I do that is it just provides fewer islands for DDs to kind of get torps. I find in Alpha sometimes if you get a quick DD, they can actually get fairly far south here, or north, depending what side of the map, and get some surprise torpedoes, whereas going over to the eastern edge of this map, I find I don't get surprised too often. And you can see it's pretty much what the entirety of the enemy team is doing, and unfortunately my team doesn't seem to be able to entirely make up its mind. I put a set of shells out at this Nevny, hoping to help out Flying Goomba, and of course the Nevny grounds himself, meaning that was all for naught, and you can see very quickly gonna lose my teammate. But overall, good start. Goomba managed to take out one of their DDs, so it was not for nothing, and one of their cruisers has gone down as well. So next on my hit list is actually going to be this Błyskawica, partly because he's inside torpedo range, partly because I do not want him closing me. You can see where I am, where my friendly carrier is. If he's allowed to push unimpeded through Charlie and to the south, he can do some damage, and that Mitsuki is not going to offer much resistance, so really it's me right now. I do have support coming in the form of, let's see, looks like the Furitaka and Fuso, so they'll be able to help me out, and you're going to see another volley here, and it's going to turn that Błyskawica away. He could be firing at me right now, he's not. And he ends up just backing off, which is great for me. It allows me to get my ship turned around and really fall into some cover with my allies as that Furitaka gets destroyed. Now, one thing the Texas does do quite a bit better than the New York is anti-air, and even though those are Tier 7 planes, still managed to shoot one of them down, and I think I get another here before they get out of range. So looking over into Charlie, I've got kind of a pick of ships to shoot at, and at first I'm going to try to pick on that Scharnhorst. It's the highest tier ship that really I can effectively put fire into, and my personal opinion is unless that Warspite or something else were just giving me a prime shot, I'm always going to fire at the meanest thing out there, in my opinion. Everyone, hates different ships differently. Unfortunately, Tier 5 shells aren't particularly accurate, and I didn't get any big hits out of that, and only one connected out of the second set of turrets, and it didn't penetrate. So we finally managed to get ourselves a cap, and you can see we're behind about 150 points, equal ships. So the priority right now for our team has to be to get one of these caps, and with how many ships are over in C, it's gotta be B. I end up eating pretty big shell there, and hopefully I don't really get to return that to the Warspite, doing only 5,000 damage. But that Warspite's gonna be my new main focus. He's at that premium range for shooting at enemy battleships. I find 10k to shoot at anything is just where guns really start to do well. You can see the flatter trajectory of my shells, and he's side on, and he pays for that. No citadels, but 2 penetrating shots and 3 overpens to take him out of the game. So now I'm going to back off a bit. I want to get behind this island south of B and then loop up to the north, because I don't want to be the main focus of any enemy ships. I don't really have the hit points left to tank anything. Got a Nuremberg sailing side on, and you know, that's a paddling. You can't walk or drive a ship like that and expect to get away. Even just slight angles in and out are going to throw people's aim off enough that you're more likely to survive. So we're just over 7 minutes into the match. I've already managed to do just shy of 33,000 damage and taken out a tier 6 battleship. So a good start to this game for me. Really happy with it so far. Managed to, in my opinion, keep that carrier alive, because had I not been there, I really feel that Bliss would have just run in and gone for his throat. And one thing I do find sometimes frustrating about this map is there's a lot of these low islands that you get ships right behind, and you can just never really get a good enough line to take an excellent shot on. And really here, for whatever reason, I didn't think I had line of sight on that Bayern, but clearly I do. And this is missed opportunity to be firing shells. Bit of poor map awareness on my part there. But I do finally get that volley off, and I continue up into B. One penetrating hit on the Bayern for no damage. And I find that happens a lot. It's just a module absorbing the shot. And just, once again, low accuracy out of these guns. And it is a good thing that I came into this cap, because you can see everyone who keeps driving in it to cap it drives out before actually taking. So I am going to have to apologize for right there. There was a bug in the video. I tried re-recording, and it's something with the replay files. And as you can see, a number of the ship's name tags are not really where they should be at some points. Sadly, Wargaming has yet to fully implement this feature, and I'm sure when they do, we'll see a big improvement as far as the overall quality of replays. Much better volley there on the Bayern, doing 10,000 damage, now just shy of 50,000, and I've crossed that threshold where I've done my own hit points and damage, which is, to me, the bare minimum for what I kind of call a good game. Unless I've done something that really affected the overall play of the game and maybe didn't get a lot of damage out of it. But overall, that's kind of how I judge my games. Get another volley off at the Bayern. Another 6600. And that'll probably be the last one I get to fire at him. It'll be tough to say with all those shells being flung his way. And you can see once again just a bit of poor map awareness on my part. There's a Nevny 4 kilometers away that I do not see until my secondaries start to fire. I quickly get my guns over.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
Unfortunately, not quick enough to get them before the torpedoes were fired, and end up eating 3 of them. Really not ideal, but sometimes it happens. And I guess part of the reason I picked this game to share is it was still a good game, but I made mistakes, and everyone makes them, and you just have to... This is me trying to do more of that, kind of telling people to back off of each other sometimes. You can see no one's yelling at me in chat. Our team's doing well. There's all kinds of reasons that players are going to have bad games, you know, whether it be injury, playing with one hand because they're missing an arm or anything. Like, in this community, if we focus on just kind of positive teamwork and trying to help people out, if you see them make a mistake, pointing it out. I know people have pointed things out to me after I've died or something, been like, you should have done this, and in a lot of cases, I probably should have. I consider myself a pretty skilled player at World of Warships, but there's still always going to be someone better than you at a game. So I finally get some good damage into that Qckslvrslash, and right now, watching that Congo, just trying to see where he's going, and I think I was also just preparing to shoot at him next. Unfortunately, right as that Qckslvrslash dies, sorry, Scharnhorst dies, he manages to finish me off. But you can see this game is all but done. That Congo's on the run. We've got all the caps, and overall, quite happy with it. Unfortunately, I do not have the post game, so I'm just going to kind of do my outro here as we watch my ship sink. Really happy with the result. 60 shells, 2 kills, and a Citadel, 72,000 damage in a game where I was a bottom tier battleship. And you can have good games as any bottom tier ship. There's really no such thing as unwinnable situation. You just have to know when and how to play. I never really got aggressive. I always made sure that the higher tier guys on my team were between me and the enemy, and my guns kind of became supporting damage to help my team push and win. And that's really what you have to do. And looking at the rest of the team, you can see our Qckslvrslash, he managed to easily carry his weight, but plenty of tier 7s on our team who don't have any kills. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I know it was a little shorter one, but Flight School has been eating up a lot of my time of late, and I'm hoping I can get into a bit of a better rhythm where I've got some content backed up and saved so that on days it's harder to get a video out, I have something sitting waiting for you. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Well past that 100 subscriber mark now, up to 166, and on the way to my next goal, which is going to be 250, and that'll be the next time I do something special. As always, I am Qckslvrslash, and I will have another video for you tomorrow.